At dawn on June 18, 1982, a London Underground worker walking to his shift looked up at the scaffolding beneath Blackfriars Bridge and saw a body. The man was hanging from an orange rope. His pockets were stuffed with bricks. He was wearing a tailored Italian suit and carrying $15,000 in 3 different currencies, 4 passports, and a Patek Philippe watch. His name was Roberto Calvi. He was the chairman of one of the most powerful banks in Europe, and the Vatican was about to make his death a problem for the entire Catholic Church. The dark side of business, bankrupt empire. To understand why a banker ended up hanging under a London bridge with stones in his pockets, you have to go back almost a century. Banco Ambrosiano was founded in Milan in 1896. It was named after the patron saint of the city, Saint Ambrose. From the beginning, it was known in Italian by another name, the Priest's Bank. A young accountant named Roberto Calvi joined the bank in 1947 after the war. He was quiet, brilliant, secretive, ambitious. By 1971, he had become chairman. Under Calvi, Banco Ambrosiano was no longer a small Catholic bank in Milan. It became the largest privately held bank in all of Italy, and then it became something else entirely. Calvi quietly entwined his bank with the Vatican Bank, the Institute for the Works of Religion, run from a tower inside the walls of Vatican City by an American archbishop named Paul Marcinkus. The Vatican Bank was not subject to Italian law. It answered only to the Pope. Marcinkus and Calvi began moving money together, quietly at first, then on an industrial scale. Banco Ambrosiano spun up dozens of shell companies across Panama, Liechtenstein, the Bahamas, Nicaragua. On paper, these companies had nothing to do with the Vatican. In reality, many were secretly owned by the Vatican Bank, which had given Calvi a letter quietly confirming it. Over a decade, Calvi loaned more than $1.3 billion to these shells. Then the shells failed, and no one could find the money. Calvi was not just a banker. He was a member of a secret Masonic lodge called Propaganda Due. P2 was technically illegal under Italian law, which forbade secret societies. Its membership list, when it was finally seized, included generals, prime ministers, intelligence chiefs, judges, and journalists. The lodge was being run as a private network of power, and Calvi's bank was P2's piggy bank. And then there was Michele Sindona, a Sicilian financier with documented ties to the American Cosa Nostra and the Genovese crime family. Sindona had introduced Calvi to the Vatican. Italian prosecutors would later argue that Banco Ambrosiano was, by the early 1980s, laundering money for the Italian mafia at industrial scale through Catholic Church accounts. 1981. Investigators raid the home of P2's Grand Master, Lizio Gelli. They find the membership list. The scandal blows open. Italian newspapers publish names. Governments fall. The bank begins to collapse. Calvi is convicted of currency law violations in a Milan court, out on bail with his passport confiscated. By the spring of 1982, the books at Banco Ambrosiano show a hole of more than $1 billion. On June 10, 1982, Calvi shaved his mustache, picked up a forged passport in the name of Gian Roberto Calvini, and slipped out of Italy. He traveled through Trieste, then Austria, then he flew to London on June 15th. He checked into a small flat in Chelsea. For 3 days, he made phone calls. He met with strangers. He sounded terrified. And then he disappeared. At dawn on June 18th, that London Underground worker found him. The orange rope was tied to scaffolding under Blackfriars Bridge. The bricks in his pockets weighed almost 11 pounds. London police immediately ruled it a suicide. But Blackfriars was a Masonic name. P2 members had been ritually photographed hanging from scaffolding in lodge initiation ceremonies. Italian authorities did not believe the suicide ruling. Neither did Calvi's family. In 1998, Calvi's body was exhumed. Forensic experts concluded he had been strangled before he was hung. In 2005, Italian prosecutors put 4 Sicilian mafia figures on trial for his murder. All 4 were acquitted. The Vatican Bank quietly paid the creditors of Banco Ambrosiano $250 million as a, quote, recognition of moral involvement. It admitted no wrongdoing. Archbishop Marcinkus was indicted in Italy in 1987. The Vatican refused to hand him over. He died in 2006 in Arizona, never having stood trial. Bankrupt Empire: The Dark Side of Business. Subscribe.